Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. Be comfortable yourself. Once we get connected with our other students, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. And keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to understand how this practice will help for us to develop our conventional life, and at the same time, how it take us to our spiritual success. So when it comes to life, there are two kinds of truth we have. So one is conventional truth, another one is ultimate truth. So the conventional truth always conditioned by something, and ultimate truth is beyond this all, we take as the true nature of this existence. So in our conventional life, we have to accept this conventional truth, and we have to understand it. That understanding itself creates the path to go towards the ultimate truth. So forgetting the conventional truth resisting or neglecting conventional truth, just focusing to ultimate truth is not valid according to the Buddha's teaching. So at the same time, we have to remember the Buddha's teaching based with our mental practice, physical practice, verbal practice. So we are responsible for our own life. When you develop yourself with the profitable skills, when your bodily, verbally, mentally action become more beneficial to yourself, that is where you gain your own happiness. But when it comes to our conventional life, most of time we look outside world, unseen power, and thinking somebody or something will guide us to gain some kind of freedom or the liberation. But according to the Buddha's teaching, you have to remember there is nothing going to bring the change to yourself. Only your own behavior will bring the change to you. So then, when you capable to take a conscious decision regarding your own intention that happen in your mind, that is where you make the change. Of course, in our conventional life, we always look for some result. We all have some kind of motivations. We all have the desires. But at the same time, we have to remember that desire we take as the effect. So that effect is depend on cause and condition. So if we build up a structure, cause and condition and the effect. So whatever you want, then you have to develop a kind of like a reverse mechanism to see cause and condition. When you want to gain something, you should know, because it's not going to come to you just by itself. So you should know what are the cause and conditions. In that way, you are capable to understand basically how these things come like this. So when it comes to our mind, always you have to remember the ultimate truth or the wisdom is not something kind of like a mysterious thing. It is within us. So whatever you have the conventional knowledge, that your ultimate wisdom also there with it. But the thing is, sometimes our mind is not capable to see. If I give an example, just imagine if you can holding like this and you can close your eyes. So it's kind of like this much space you need to close this eye. But this much eye can see very far. It can see more larger area. See, the wisdom the same. So wisdom doesn't need much larger space or more mysterious and kind of like a difficult to understand puzzle. So it's already there with you. But the thing is, if the mind is not ready to understand it, even though it is in front of you, you're not going to see it. Why? Because the most of time, in this conventional life, we are interfering with things, looking for happiness and satisfaction. Nothing wrong with it. But the happiness and satisfaction doesn't bring anything else on more than the happiness and satisfaction. Just imagine that you will have satisfaction, then that's it. You're going to be the same person. You are not going to change because you are happy or you are satisfied. Satisfaction keeps you the same person, and then happiness keeps you the same person, and then you mesmerize with it. But practicing dharma is a little bit different. It is not about happiness and satisfaction. Because that happiness and satisfaction is a kind of like a very achievable place for you. People have the goal, or the people have the motivation to be wealthy. Just imagine. So how much? So how far? So how many years? With how much money? Maybe 7 times bigger than the Bill Gates. And then after that, what will happen? How long? 100 years? Then what will happen? Then it becomes zero. Or you want to gain something. For how long? So for how long you want to gain that? 100 years, then after that, what will happen? It becomes something else. So how far you want to travel? So maybe around the world, and then after that, maybe you will go to space. How many times? Few times. After that, it's done. So this, the goal or the motivation that we have related to happiness and satisfaction in this conventional level, those are very, very small, limited things. And at the same time, you keep spending and your whole life with it, and then by the time, you may miss the opportunity. But when it comes to practice Dharma, you have to remember, so more than that conventional motivation, that your spiritual motivation is totally different. So that spiritual motivation should be related to your liberation. So liberation means complete change and the enlightenment or the nibbana. So that is something higher goal. If you are motivated with that kind of goal, this teaching for you like that. So that's why you have to remember, always you should know when it comes to practice, your motivation, your intention should keep in the highest place. Don't set up it to for a kind of like a very low level of intention. Look at the human history. How many millionaires, how many wealthy people, how many successful people used to be in the world. And yesterday millionaire, today became beggar sometimes. It's nothing wrong that we have this, all the wealth and the material things, because we can have a very comfortable life, and it gives access for you to have more opportunities, and then at the same time you can share it with others. Of course, this conventional world is a place for us to experience it. But you have to remember, even though you have it, your ultimate goal should be your spiritual development. When you set up that, so whatever you listen, the very next important part is when you listen to the Dharma, when you practice, always remember, never listen to Dharma to collect information, because that is, it's a very conventional level of practice. Most of time, if you think, oh, I want to learn something new, I want to collect something, I want to gain something. So in that way, if you keep listening, how far? Because you are never going to be satisfied, and every day you keep collecting information. So the collecting information means you collecting ideas. The collecting ideas mean the same thing will take you to collect the material, because material things you cannot collect without ideas. Before you collect this all the material world, what you do in your mind, you collect your ideas. So then, if you have that attitude towards the Dharma, also the same thing. Mind will become satisfied with, why? Because you mind keep doing the same thing. Only thing, rather than the physical things, now you have mental things. But still you're going to be more satisfied. That's why listening is an art. So don't look for information, especially when it comes to Dharma, or even when it comes to life. So that's why having right motivation to listen to Dharma, or even when you practice yourself, having right motivation will change this all. So then, rather than collecting the information, how you should learn, how you should listen. Because when you collect information, you become self-centered. And then once you become self-centered, it always develops the dualistic mind. And that's why in the very first level, you have to set up your mind to bring the openness to yourself. That openness means, rather than holding it little bit, you have to go a little bit more deeper and see. Now your motivation is to bring the transformation. So then now you have to look into it and see whatever you hear, how you can gain your transformation, gain your change through this information, through this, the whatever the Dharma you hear. Because if you have the intention to hold it, collect it, you're not going to use it. Look at how many things that you have at home, in your closet. Maybe the very best things that you have, you're not going to use it. Why? Because you like it. When you like something too much, you're not going to use that much. You keep it. You keep it. So same thing will happen to you also. So that's why having the right motivation to listen is very necessary. So then never listen to collect information. Always listen to bring the experience to yourself. And try to understand it a little bit yourself, the difference. Rather than collecting information, try to listen to bring the change to yourself, bring the experience to yourself. So it's like this. I will give you an example for this, because sometimes it's kind of like difficult to understand. How without collecting information, how we can learn. It's like this. Just imagine, you get very sick. Sick means that it's kind of like you're going to die. You feel kind of like the end of your life. And then you go to the doctor. So when you go to the doctor, so you have the intention to get cured. And you're not going to the doctor just to talk about medicine or just to tell that whatever the difficulties that you go through. And maybe if the doctor keeps asking too much questions, maybe you say, that I can't hold myself. Give me something. Give me something. Give some medicine to me. Maybe when you go through so much pain, you may, shout, do something. See, you're not going to just listen there. You are trying to be, you are already open to any situation. Just imagine when people go to doctors. Just imagine when they come to very difficult situations, and sometimes we don't know what is happening inside the body. If the doctor tell us to, oh, you have to do a heart surgery, we accept it. Let's do it. And sometimes doctors tell, okay, you have to cut your hand. People do that. Oh, you have to cut your leg. People do it. See, sometimes, oh, you have to take out your kidney. People do that. See, that because we can't decide it. We don't know. Of course, we go through the pain, but we can't decide what to do. So when we go to the doctor, we're not going to just to collect informations. So like that, always you have to remember, getting old, sickness, death, those three things is inevitable for us in this conventional world. So it's kind of like we are trapped. We got sick. And somehow now we have to do something to get out of this. See, that's it's kind of like, you have a kind of like a, the pain, and you go to the dentist and tell, take this out. I don't want this anymore. So same like, because that what we go through, look around, that you have to understand. When you look yourself, and of course you have seen your parents, your grandparents, and your elder people when they become 80 years, 90 years old, and how their life going to be. So understand that we also heading towards that, we can't get out of it. And when you go to the hospital, have you seen how people, we don't know tomorrow what will happen to us. And just if you have a time, just visit this cancer hospital, and then you will see how people go through this chemotherapy, but the difficulties, and it's kind of like something. Because that we don't know with the living means, like when we born to this world, the very first few years, our inside organs very, very clean. It's kind of like some organs kind of like a shining. Is your inside body, it's like a light shining. All your lungs, heart, kidneys, liver, small intestine, large intestine, and your skin, this everything is so clean. So then what happens by the time, just imagine after 50 years, 60 years, if somebody, cut this inside organs, that you will see this all kind of like a very dark kidneys, liver, heart, these all organs, small intestine, large intestine, and even our teeth, when we are 8 years old, 10 years old, this all very beautiful, shining. But now look, even ourselves, we can't say it's kind of like, the dark, some part missing, and even that when we go to the dentist, they filled with this iron, kind of like that. So what does that mean? Because living means we cooking our inside. we this all organs cooking. It's burning. That's why it become dark, roasted. It's kind of like a roasted chicken. This all inside organs you cook when you live. So remember, when you become 80 years old, 90 years old, if you're lucky to go that far, how are you going to handle this? Because your mobility start to slow down. This all, sometimes the calcium build up, and then your balance go away, and your memory slowly you start to lose. No, you can't recognize anybody. So then just imagine how you're going to handle this. And even not for a one time, even you die with this all the difficulties, you're going to born again. And you're going to give, the hard time to your mother. You're going to stay 10 months there, and you overtaking someone else's life, and you give a hard time to them. Then again, you come back to this place, and somehow you become some living being. And where this going to end? It's not going to end like that. Even you wish it not going to end. Why? Cause, condition, effect. That's the method. Remember, you are an effect. So there is something, cause and condition. That's why we are here like this. So then if you want to get out of this, just thinking, oh, I don't want, it's not going to help. See, sometimes you can tell to people, even your loved ones, don't blame to me, but they keep blaming. So because just you are saying it's not going to work. You can tell don't do, but still they keep doing. So that's why, remember, the sickness that we have, the life itself kind of like not a place to have fun. That's the ultimate truth. Conventionally, of course, we appreciate this body, we appreciate this soul, but still we have to remember we have no power over this anything. Especially this body. We don't know what is happening inside this body. So then we appreciate it, but at the same time we have to remember as soon as possible, you have to attain into the liberation. So then don't keep your goal far away from you. Even you no need to be so hurried. What you need to do is kind of like you're going to have an appointment, you put an appointment, and they say, we can give you the next available time. And then you say, okay, let's do that. So like that, always remember, get your next, whatever the available time, maybe today, tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, maybe within another 10 years, 20 years, maybe before you die, maybe after you die, maybe next lifetime, whatever, next available time, I am ready to attain into liberation. So that is a kind of like very fair way that you can keep your motivation. So like that, so remember the very important thing, when you listen to something, it's like the doctor, you listen to the doctor. It's not you try to collect something and keep something. No, 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 no. When the doctor say regarding the medicine, you're not going to kind of like keep that all the medicine, like collecting stamps or this penny coins. No, no, no. You're going to use it. That's totally different. Since there are some people collect pennies. They don't use it. They keep collecting, collecting, collecting. But medicine, you not collect like that. How many tablets? Kind of like you don't go to doctor and, get medicine. No, whatever the medicine you take, you use it. So like that, don't keep collecting information. It's for conventional. It's good for these children when they go to school. If they have exam, they have to do that. But for your ultimate truth, this information collecting doesn't work. So that's why keep the right intention, keep the right motivation. So that is a kind of like a very radical way of learning. So that is what the Buddha taught. And when it comes to that, yourself, when you motivate, there are few things that you have to remember in this journey. So one is the Shraddha, or the faith, conviction. So of course we have the faith, conviction, trust, believing regarding many things. Other religions also talk about this, the faith. But here it is little different. So when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, the faith just alone itself not going to work. So the faith itself, the trust itself, conviction itself, believing itself, not going to work. It's not acceptable when it comes to Buddha's teaching. Yeah, as example, if you go to the Buddha and or regarding the Dharma, if you tell, I trust it, it doesn't work, it doesn't value. What you should have. Always remember the difference when it comes to other religions and the Buddha's teaching, the faith, conviction, trust, or the believing, always it need to be with the wisdom. It's like this. So when you wash your hand, you use the both hands together. So one hand help to wash other hand. So when you wash your feet, you can rub the feet using each other. So like that, always you have to remember, when you have the wisdom, when you have the trust, you can't just have it independently. It doesn't work. Always you have to have the wisdom with your trust. That is one of the very unique way of Buddha's teaching. So then that is why just believing something not going to work for you. You have to have the wisdom, and your motivation towards that believing bring through that wisdom. When you say, I believe that, what motivates you to believe it? That is a very, very, if you look very carefully, it's a very important question. When you say, I trust, so what motivates you to trust it? You should know that. You can't tell to the Buddha, oh, I have the faith towards you. It doesn't work. So what motivates you to have that faith? And the next one, virya, or the effort. Of course, we have effort towards many things, even to do good things, to do the generous things. And you do a lot of good things, and your life is kind of like even having a very moral, very self-disciplined life sometimes. And sometimes, of course, terrorists are more disciplined than us sometimes. Detectives, they are more disciplined than us sometimes. This one of the guy retired from FBI, and I was listening to this guy, and so this, in that conversation, he told they have no rights to kind of like do certain things. Even though they are detectives, they cannot use their personal emotion to mesmerize other people, especially when it comes to relationships. They can't use their emotions to hijack other people's brain to get the information. See, that's a kind of like a, the deep principle. So you don't cross the lines. So that is very important when it comes to them, that what motivates you to do something. Because that is, by the time the result going to change, but that what you motivate going to build up inside you. That's why we have the effort. Sometimes we do a lot of social work, we do a lot of good things, and we are so generous sometimes, and we have the love and compassion sometimes, but still we don't know what motivates us to do that. And sometimes our self-centered, egocentric mind motivate us to keep our identity or the show our identity, and we try to use this all the good work to show off ourselves, oh, we are so good. So that doesn't work. Of course, conventionally, it will make you happy. But end of the day, it's not going to become beneficial to yourself, or it's not going to become profitable to you. So that's why the Buddha's teaching more deeper and far away from this head massage. So that's why yourself, you have to remember, practicing means you bringing this to inside you, you define yourself, you change yourself. So saddha, the conviction, confident, trust, believing, you have to mix with the wisdom. Don't keep it alone. That is where your motivation is going to guide it. And the effort, don't just do something. Don't have the effort towards something. Look and keep it with the wisdom. And always just the effort itself not valid in Buddhism. There are many other religions, they talk about the effort, but when it comes to the very unique way of the Buddha's teaching, it always need the wisdom next to it. Keep it the wisdom next to it. Sati, concentration. And of course, we every day, we concentrate ourselves for many things. But keep the wisdom next to it. Don't just have the concentration itself alone. Because people who ever kind of like these snipers, they have to concentrate, but their motivation is something to kill somebody. So they are more better than us sometimes when they focus towards something. They can stay many hours without moving and just keep focusing to one target. See? So that's why, and sometimes we say, oh, we have to focus when we cook and when we do our day-to-day activities, we have to focus. Of course, you have to focus. But always you have to remember what motivates you to focus to that. To gain something? Maybe you have the idea of becoming successful. So what do you mean by success in this conventional life? To gain something more, gain something more. Of course, you may get it, but it never going to take you out of the system. But what the Buddha taught here, it's nothing to do dealing with this, how you can get out of this system as soon as possible within next available time for you. And samadhi, tranquility state, tranquilizing the mind. People get into this tranquility state with many reasons. Even sometimes because of the physical conditions. And sometimes people have the stress, anxiety, depression, these kind of things. Those are not bad things. Those are the very nature of our mind. Don't make a big scene out of it. We never heard this little children have the stress and the anxiety and depression. But now, what is happening? You know, it's funny. It's like this, that in our countries, the dogs, everywhere. And when we go, and they live their maximum life, we don't know what they eat. If we have food, we give, and most of the time people bring these dogs to temple, and if we have food, we give it to them, and they eat, and they live, whatever the 15 years, 16 years, their life, and they have a very natural death. But here, the dogs, they have, fresh pressure, the dogs, they have, they have cancer, and they have heart attack, So it's like that. The people, they are the one who, developing these things, and they are focusing to something, and then they develop something. So that's why you have to remember what motivates you to maintain this life like this. And we are focusing to many things. We have the concentration, tranquility mind regarding many things here. And of course, when you have the deeper anger, you can tranquilize with that anger, hatred, envy, and you can tranquilize that everything become blind and you just focus to only one thing. But that is not profitable to you. It is not beneficial to you. And look, nowadays, when it comes to meditation everywhere, and the tranquility state, or the people talk about, but still, they have no idea what is this, and they use many kind of mushroom, this psychedelic things, and many kind of oils, marijuana, and they use many things to gain high and have a higher mental power. Look, when you go to this online and see how many things they develop to have this mental power and the energy, all the animal names, go to the 7-Eleven or, go to the gas station. You go gas station and look what you see in the very close to you. What you see? Rhino, tiger, black cobra, you know, uh, plus Viagra, everywhere you see. You have to look what motivate, where this try to take you. And you want mental power. It's a tranquility state is a kind of like the getting some kind of mental power. You want to focus. Of course, that is very important. Focusing and having tranquility state, having one mind, having mental power, mental development is very important. That is the most important part when it comes to the human life. But what motivates you? That is the difference in Buddha's teaching. Keep the wisdom next to your tranquility state. Look, is it go towards the conventional life, or is that help you to gain your freedom or liberate you or bring the change to you rather than keeping you the same? So these four things: conviction, effort, or the shraddha, or the trust. That is one thing. Another one is energy, effort, concentration, tranquility state. So those are the four. And the fifth one is the wisdom. So the wisdom itself, based with the knowingly the real nature of impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, and selflessness. But another wisdom here, if you are capable to be mindful regarding these first four things and be aware about and look at your motivation and see and have, if you have the effort to rather than go towards the tranquility or the conventional truth, if you have the effort to go towards the ultimate truth or the liberation or the nibbana, if you have the intention to end this, and that will bring you the change. So rather than keep traveling, if you're ready to take the next available moment to attaining to Nibbana, do whatever. In that way, you will see how your practice become more and more and more successful. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. Recognize it through the sensation. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, the stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. Also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya imaya dhammanudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.